What's up, guys? Hope you're all having an amazing day. Welcome back to the channel. Yes, today we've kind of changed some scenes a little bit because in today's video I need a bigger table. I need a surface where I can play stuff and reach out for stuff. We're going to be talking about a very unique special camera, which is the Epson RD1X. Now, this camera does not belong to me. It belongs to a friend of mine, Taylor. I saw on Facebook Market, which you need to stay away from. But I saw on Facebook Market that he had posted this camera to sell. And our local camera store here, Midwest, has one of these, and every single time that I've gone in there, I have found it very interesting and always just wondered how it feels like, how the images are going to look like, because this camera here is 6.1 megapixels. I'm not going to try to go into the science and all the stuff that most reviewers do, because I'm not good at that. So I'm just going to talk about a few things that I know about it, some that I've copied from Wikipedia, and then you can also do your own research. But I'm always about the results and the performance of cameras, and especially how much I enjoy shooting it, which I did very much enjoy shooting this camera. So I'll just go on and read from here just a few things that I think it's important information to know. This camera has 3 versions. So there is the original Epson RD1, and then there was the RD1X, and then there is the RD1XG. From what I have been told and what I've read online, the original Epson RD1 had a 2.5 LCD, and it was articulated. You can, on this specific model, they took that off. And also in the previous version, which is the RD1 original, you could only put up to 2 gigabyte of SD card, which to me it's very interesting and fun at the same time, because when we shoot film, we are only limited to 36, sometimes even 24 exposures when you shoot 35. And then when you go up to 120 and 4x5, you get limited to the number of shots that you get. So I think they were trying to make the digital kind of feel more like a film, because this camera has a very unique and special feature, which is this advanced lever here. Now, initially when I first come across this camera, I thought it was just a gimmick, or they just put it there as a hand grip or something, but no, it actually functions. You cannot take your next shot if you do not advance it, which is very, very interesting. It's interesting again because when I was outside shooting this camera, I keep forgetting to advance it because I know it's digital. If I'm shooting film, anytime I shot any frame, I know I have to advance it. It's just a natural thing you do. But because I knew I was shooting film, my brain was not remembering to advance it. So sometimes I take a shot and I go to take the next one, and it's not allowing me, and then I remember, oh, you have to advance it. So it's very, very interesting. It's a rangefinder camera. You can mount a 50, 28, and 35, and it takes the Leica M mount lenses. So this on here is the Carl Zeiss, the Biogon, I hope I'm saying it right, 28 2.8 ZM, that is on here, which is very, very fun to shoot. The RD1 original takes up to 2 gigabyte, but the RD1X takes up to 32, which is good. So you're not limited to just 2 gigabyte of memory card. Also, because it's a 6.1 megapixel camera, The file sizes are not huge, and so I think 2 GB of SD card kind of makes sense. However, having 32 really is awesome. So yeah, it's a rangefinder. It's, if you're familiar with the Voigtlander Bessa cameras, it kind of looks similar to those. However, this one is, I've had a Bessa before, the Bessa R before, and it feels more plasticky, whereas this one is very solid. Like, it feels very solid in your hands, like metal. I took it out, shot some photos. I actually put it to monochrome when I went out to shoot, because I don't know, I just thought if you have something like this, it's fun to shoot it in black and white. I never just saw it and thought I'm going to shoot color. However, the colors are very interesting. The colors looks great. I won't be showing any color on here today. If I still have this camera past this week, maybe I'll do another shoot where I show the color, but for now we're just going to be talking about black and white. I love black and white, and that is what I thought I shoot on this camera. So I switched it to monochrome, and when I was out shooting, I used the yellow filter and the orange filter. I just played with the orange filter a little bit, but most of the time it was the yellow filter that it was on. This dial here that kind of looks like your film advance or rewind knob, this actually is the control that takes you through the menu. So when you hit the menu, you use this dial here to go through the menu, and the menu is actually very interesting. There isn't much on here. There isn't a lot of information that you have to go through like the Sony and the Canon cameras. It's very straightforward. Just a little, you have to get used to it, but once you figure it out, it's nothing, you know, that you cannot get a grip on like in the first 2 minutes of having this camera in hand. One thing that I couldn't find out, I had to reach out back to my friend Taylor to tell me what it was where the SD card go, because when somebody puts this camera in your hand, you actually cannot tell where an SD card go. I was kind of like looking down here, taking the lens off. If it's like, it's right here. It is literally right here, but it is so and intended to kind of feel like film that you don't even know where the SD card go. So that was very, you know, interesting. I was wowed by it, just how clean the lines are and how good this camera is built. So I'll show you some photos probably as I talk, or maybe, yeah, as I talk, some of the photos that I shot whilst I was out there. I reached out to a friend that I haven't shot with in a very long time, Marty, and asked if he wanted to go on a walk and just like shoot some photos, and he was down for it. So we just kind of walk around downtown Columbus. I walked from where I live to downtown to meet up with him, and on my way I made some photos, and out of those photos, actually 2 of them I printed. So I also wanted to print the photos and see how this is gonna hold up, because I have never shot a 6.1 megapixel. The least I have shot is I think 16, and so, you know, 6.1 to me, I was just excited to make a print and see how it holds up. But surprisingly, they look really good, both on the computer and on print. I mean, you cannot push the files too much like you push any other, you know, 16, 24, you know, 40 megapixel files. They will fall apart. You can tell when you are pushing it. But for the size that I printed, I was going to print 4 of the photos in 8x10 and then print the rest on 13x90, but unfortunately I was out of paper. So the last paper that I had is the Honeywell pearl paper, and so I printed just one of that. And of course, I'm going to have my white gloves on because my hand is kind of very oily this evening. I don't know why. So I don't want to touch the prints with that. I'm not trying to be anyway. So I have here the honeymeal paper, and it's too far away, but I'll bring the camera closer for you guys to see how the prints came out. It's right here. Looks really good. The blacks looks good. One thing that I also realized with this camera is it really holds up in the shadows, which means I'm very curious about it, how it's going to do at night, because the shadows, when you lift it, I didn't do much lifting, but it looks like the dynamic range on this camera is really good. Shooting from dark to light, it's just like very good. I'm very impressive, very impressive. And so yeah, this print is 8x10, printed on 8.5 by 11, which is like the letter size paper, but it really did hold up. Now this one here are some of my favorites. I cannot pick it up. Here we go. And this is 13 by 19, printed 12 by 18. So these are quite bigger and they still looks really good. The sharpness, everything. I didn't sharpen the images that much, but it looks really good. I'll bring the camera closer for you guys to see, but yeah, I'm very happy with the results that this camera was able to produce. Very happy with it. It kind of feels and looks like a 35 print, and it's actually like the grain is really good. Sometimes digital grains can be a little too much, but this looks really good for the print. So very happy with it. Very happy with it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I was telling Taylor, he actually just tested me. He was supposed to come over. I was actually telling him that I shot this camera, that I had no intentions that I wanted to buy it because it's way out of my price range. This camera here is $2,500. I went on eBay, I think 2 days ago or something, just to kind of see how much people are selling it. Some people have it up to 3,000, some 2,800. Some had even sold for 3,500. So yeah, it's not cheap, and of course it comes with the lens. So 2,500 for the lens. Without the lens, you probably get it around 1,800 to 2K, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it, because at that price range you will get a very full frame, probably up to 40 megapixel camera, whereas you're spending that much money for a 6.1 megapixel. So I don't know, I shot it. I told him, man, I didn't like, I have had fun shooting this camera than I thought I would. The shutter speed goes up to 1/2000th of a second. There is aperture priority, and then also you have your exposure compensation up to +2 and then -2. It has bulb, and then the ISO goes from, I think, let me see, 200 all the way to 1600, which is very solid, because if you're thinking about it, when you shoot in film, mostly people shoot it around that range, 200, 400, 800, and 1600. Personally, like the max I have gone is I think 1600, even if I push HP5. So it's very solid. That's fine. You know, I wouldn't need anything lower than 200, and I don't think I will need anything higher than 1600. If I know I'm going to shoot anything higher than 1600, then I'll just add flash to it to just compensate for the light. So yeah, that's it. This really actually gave me an idea, because I've been setting up my website. I have launched it, but I haven't bought my domain back yet, so I haven't been talking about it that much. But it gave me an idea of starting to provide smaller prints. So in the future, I'm going to be having smaller prints like this, like from my 35 work, or from digital camera photos that I make like this, edition of 100, and I'm going to have it on my website. So if you are interested in any of these prints that I'm going to be showing in this video, you can reach out to me on my Instagram, Edmund K. Boateng, and we can talk about it or take it from there. But in the future, I'm going to have these on my website. So if anybody wants to purchase a print or have a print of mine, that is going to be coming very soon. And all of it is going to be printed by me. I like to have control of everything that I do within my prints, because I feel like it's all like an artistic decision that I'm making. So all prints are going to be made by me, signed and numbered, and all of it is going to be on a matte paper. I don't even know how long this video is right now, but I'm going to cut it right here, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't shot this camera before and you have a friend that have one, or you could get one for yourself to shoot, try it. It's very fun. It's very, very fun. I remember I was talking to someone before and I mentioned, I wish they would make a digital camera that you can advance, when you take the photo. And I never knew this one existed up until I saw it in Midwest. And then now my friend Taylor have one that I was able to borrow to shoot. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you spend $2,500 on a 6.1 megapixel camera when we are in 2023 and there is good, I would say better cameras based on the megapixels out there that you can spend that money on? So let me know what you think, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But until then, bye-bye.